so much. It's a hard one to get through, I tell you. Right now, we'd like to do a song for all the Black Eyed Peas fans. We got any Black Eyed Peas fans here? We figured there'd be a lot here tonight. We like ours with a little bit of cornbread. Ready?
Here's a stick. One of the reasons you make sure you sort your beans out. Found little rocks today. Lots of black eyed peas that were split in half. Just sort through them good. Make sure you don't get any rocks in it. I take the beans that are the peas that are split in half. The ones that look odd, like it's got a dark side on it. That piece of popcorn a while ago. See, that's half of that pea's gone. Another half that's gone. There's stone. Easy to see. Just get you a big platter like I've got. Put everything out a little bit at a time. Thanks for walking right in the camera. Thanks for walking right in the camera. Yeah, you can see it facing that way. I'll get rid of that. Just go through it. Make sure you get it pretty clean as much as you can. The main thing is getting the rocks. Nobody wants a hard rock to crunch down on. And that's it. Pour them in your water. I'm going to come back in a few minutes. The beans and stuff that's floating on top, I'll take a spoon and remove those. Make sure you got enough water to cover the top. And then I'll put a plate on top of it and leave it till tomorrow. In the morning I'll come back and I'll rinse these a couple of times. They'll be soft by then, soft enough to start cooking. So they're going to bed now. There's some of my spices that's going in the black eyed peas. Keys Southern Spice and Bill E's bacon. Getting some of my Bill E's bacon ready to go in my black eyed peas. I don't want it crisp, just a little cooking on each side. Black eyed peas have been rinsed. They're in my slow cooker. Let's get started on the recipe. See, I've got my crock pot here. All the soaked peas have been soaked 12 hours. I've got some bacon going over here, rendering some bacon out. It's ready. I want the bacon and the bacon fat. So let's just go ahead and get it in here. see that better? Yeah, there you go. I'm going to take my bacon fat and pour it into the black eyed peas. Yeah, it's warm. And I've got some bacon cut for me for breakfast, thin slices. Billy's bacon is really good stuff. The best bacon out of LA, as I like to say, Lower Alabama. Welcome back to A Country Boy Can Cook, an old new production. Today, black eyed peas. Actually, this started a day ago. You see on the video, I sorted and went through the beans. These are great value, and they were a great value, but man, they were full of rocks. I had a couple of pieces of corn, a stem off of something, not sure what that was, or maybe I don't want to know. So anyway, it's always good to go through and make sure you're, whether you're cooking red beans or pinto beans or peas or whatever, if they're dried, make sure you go through them and separate them out and then soak them overnight. That way they'll be ready to go the next morning. And it is, it's early, it's about 6 a.m. I think I heard the wind chill factor a while ago was 0 degrees or 1 degree or something like that. It's chilly. A little light snow blowing around out, so the perfect time for a big pot of southern style black eyed peas. And yeah, you know, you heard this first starting of that song. Yeah, I know it's black eyed peas, kind of a play on words there. They were playing black eyed pea music, but they did say cornbread, and yeah, we're going to fix a cast iron skillet full of cornbread. So let's get this recipe going. You see what I've done so far. I've got the soaked peas with the bacon. I'm going to season this really after I cook it, but I'm going to just a little bit. I've got my Keys seasoning. There's no salt added to this recipe, just a little bit of Keys. I've got some green chilies diced. It's kind of like Rotel. This is Great Value brand. See that? I'm going to save these back. Stir this around. It's just that simple, boys and girls. I'm going to go plug it in and put a lid on it. And we'll come back and check it maybe 8 hours from now, 6 hours. So I'm going to cook it on low. It's just that simple. Stir, mix. Started yesterday, but it is simple. And I'm going to put this on low, and we're going to let her do her thing all day long. So I'm going to bake some cornbread right before this is ready to eat, and hopefully we can perfectly time them. They can all come out together and be so good. See y'all back later today. Welcome back. Let's get this cornbread made. We're about an hour away from the black eyed peas being ready. They've taken about 6 hours in my slow cooker, but mine's going to be ready here pretty quick, so I'm getting the cornbread ready. So I'm going to use Martha White. I've got a skillet over here heating up. So I'm going to make a double batch. Make sure no eggshell goes in. Of course, after all, it is cornbread. It is a little crunchy, but I don't know if I want crunchy eggshells. Would be a good source of calcium. So I'm just gonna, you know what? And there is an eggshell. No, you can't see it, but let me do some fishing here. It's a little bitty one. You see that? Yeah, bright and shiny. So this is a double batch. So I'm going to go ahead and mix my eggs up. I'm using real buttermilk. It is low fat, that's all I can get at our local Wally World. Like I said, I'm doubling the recipe. I'll read the recipe for a single batch. That way if you don't want to make this big batch. Basically you put all your liquids together. And on Martha White it calls for vegetable oil. I don't have any vegetable oil. But I got some bacon grease. So it calls for a 1/4 cup, so we're going to go with a 1/2 cup of bacon grease. Stir that around really good. I've got my oven set on 450 degrees. See that, boys and girls, the Martha White Complete Buttermilk Mix. So on a single batch it calls for 2 cups. So that would be 1. That would be the second batch. I mean, the first batch. So there's another one. So let's see how this looks here. The recipe they have is for an 8-inch skillet. I wanted more cornbread than an 8-inch skillet. 8-inch skillet would just about do me for dinner. I've had this cornbread in the freezer. Keep from getting weevils in it. And it's a funny thing, I always wonder, what are weevils? I looked that up the other day. It told what they were. They're little larvae of some kind of little worm or a beetle. I think it's a beetle. Not like the D beetles. So I'm going to need some more milk. So I'm just going to use water. Anyway, I was talking about the little beetles, the weevils. And it's because, you know, Mother would say, oh, we can't use this, it's got weevils in it. The flour's got weevils in it, whatever. And it turns out those are totally edible. If it's a really good product, it's going to naturally have those in there. You may not see them, but they're in there, and it won't hurt you to eat them. I thought that was a cool thing. Not that I'm planning on eating any if I see them crawling around. And I've seen them in flour that have been set on the shelf too long. I mean, they look like little worms crawling around. So I doubt that I would mix that up into cornbread unless I wanted some extra protein in it. Make sure I read this right. So 2 cups, 1 1/3 cups of buttermilk. Oh yeah, I didn't add enough buttermilk. And that's all the buttermilk I had. And it says you can add water or regular milk, so I say I'll post a picture of the actual recipe. Don't be like the old dude and not follow recipes. It's going to turn out fine though. I promise you. It's almost there. And because it says you use milk, it didn't say use buttermilk. But I wanted the extra twang of the buttermilk. So between the buttermilk I had in there and the little water mixed in, and you can see it's about ready to go. You want it soupy enough to pour out into your skillet. Now I've got the skillet over here with some bacon fat in it heating up. My oven's ready. And for some reason my skillet doesn't take all of this, that's no problem. Turn the heat off. Let me get a hot pad. Like I said, if my skillet doesn't hold all this, no problem. I've got an 8-inch skillet. Yeah, you're gonna hear the sizzle. I don't know how good you can see it, but let's pour this in here. Step out of the way before I So this is enough for 2 8-inch skillets. And this skillet is not 16 inches, but I wanted thick cornbread. So no problem there. Let me get this over to the oven and grab another small skillet. This thing weighs about 10 pounds. Weighs about 10 pounds before you start. All right, I've got my little skillet. I use Bake It Up. So I put some in the bottom, it's melted. That smells good. It's got that buttermilk smell, that tang. All right. Let me get this baby boy in the oven and get it counted down and start cooking. Yeah, she's hot too. I've set it for 20 minutes at 450 degrees. Looks like she's cooking away. Let's take a look at these. They look good. I had a little taste earlier. They taste really good. They're done. I can't wait to get a bowl of these. As soon as the cornbread's ready, they're coming out. Cornbread is ready. I've got a piece cut so it'll cool down. Both have good suntans. Yeah, it's gonna be great. So let's cut into this suntan baby. I can feel the crust. You can hear my timer going off. Let me go catch it. Be right back. All right, let's check these black-eyed peas out and see what they taste like. How about a piece of cornbread? I've got it cut. Been cooling down for a minute. Martha White buttermilk hot rice. Oh yeah, it's looking good. How's that look? How's that look? That cornbread looks so good. Haven't tasted it yet. Definitely got a good rise. It's over 2 inches tall. The black-eyed peas and Bill E's bacon. Boy, it smells wonderful. I had a little taste earlier to make sure it was cooked, and it's great. So thank you for Keys Southern Spice for making this video happen. Matter of fact, Keys and Billy's Bacon, both out of Fairhope, Alabama, and had a little help from Bake It Up. Just get a bite of this and see what it tastes like. All right, decided I would add one last thing. I forgot I had these in the fridge. Sweet onion slice. Yeah, it ain't complete without that. Let's get a bite. Onion, cornbread with butter, black-eyed peas with Bill E's Bacon, Fairhope, Alabama, and Spice by Keys Southern Spice, Fairhope, Alabama. How about a bite? It is so good. Man. I didn't add any extra spice to it. And Keys knocked it out of the ballpark. It's really good with it. Man. Let me have a bite of cornbread with a little butter. A little black-eyed pea action on it here. That cornbread is the real deal. Excellent, excellent, excellent. All right. Well, I'm going to shut this video off so I can have my dinner. Y'all have a wonderful day. Thanks for being here for the old dude. I appreciate you being here for my channel. If this is your first time, please subscribe. Hit the notification button so you can get all my videos. All the old dude production videos. Out of here.